So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, you know, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynast Amir, I'm out.
Peace, family. I hope all is well. I hope you're what's today? Today's Monday. Today is Monday. I need to shave. Guys, this weekend I'm gonna go get a haircut. I'm gonna shave. All that good stuff. But I hope all is well. Hope your afternoon, morning, wherever you're at. Hope that's going well. Do me a favor, hit that like button. You guys know the drill. Shout out to Jay Dolo in the chat room. You guys know the drill. As you come into the chat room, please hit that like button. Again, please hit that like button. I greatly appreciate it. And I love you guys. I love all of you. Thank you for the support over the years. Shout out to Sankara Patrice Bishop. Shout out to Sankara Patrice Bishop. And shout out to all of you in the chat room. You hope Complex calls in today. He might be watching. Brother Complex might be watching. He could call in. No problem. Yeah, Jay Dolo, we're going to speak on Liberia Sanctions today. We're going to speak on Nigerians getting their wake-up call when they move to the UK. And then also we're going to speak on the diaspora drama and how the drama in the diaspora that is on YouTube, how that is negatively impacting. Shout out to Body Butter Plug. Shout out to Body Butter Plug in the chat room. How that is negatively impacting what those in the diaspora are trying to advance. Because what you have to understand, guys, all right, these African governments, they watch these YouTube pages. Once again, these African governments, they watch these diaspora YouTube pages of Black Americans, Black people in the UK, Black people in the islands. They watch these pages and they follow us in regards to how we interact and what we're doing and what we're building and trying to accomplish on the continent, right? And I promise you, when they see this drama, they're like, oh, okay. They're taking note of this stuff. So just be careful. I mean, everything doesn't need to be aired out on camera. You know, you ain't got to expose everybody. you know, just be careful. You know what I mean? Just be careful. I just think some conversations could be had off camera. Okay, here we go. I believe some conversations can be have off camera. All right. And I think there should be communication first. If you disagree with someone, I think there should be certain channels of communication. Speak to that person first. Get their side of the story. Get both sides of the story before you decide to go exposing everyone. You know, like I said, there's two sides to every story. But, you know, some people, they just want to take the drama and run with it. So yeah, so we'll talk about that. But in the meantime, guys, as you come to the chat room, please hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. And if you have not, if you're watching this, I see Freddy Cougar is watching. Shout out to Freddy Cougar, you guys. 1, 2, Freddy's after you. What was it? 1, 2, Freddy's after you. 3, 4, lock the door. I forgot the song. But shout out to Freddy Cougar, everyone who's in the chat room. Shout out to Freddy. But, you know, the person is just super extra shady, and you have resolved all means to work things out. By all means, you know, go ahead and expose them. But outside of that, man, you know, just an expose for every little thing. I don't know. But shout out to Freddy Cougar, who's in the chat room. Again, shout out to Freddy Cougar, everybody. Thank you for joining us, Freddy. But guys, if you have not bought the documentary, again, if you have not bought the documentary, everyone, In Search of Uhuru, please go and buy the documentary. Please go and buy the documentary if you have not bought the documentary yet. Oh, yeah. I said 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, lock the door. And it was a 5, 6, never sleep again or something like that. Yeah, but guys, make sure you go and buy the documentary. Go to searchforuhuru.com. Here we go. Shout out to I watched the documentary and I loved it. Good job, brother, man. Shout out to, I got to screenshot this. Hold on, I got to screenshot this. Shout out to let me go ahead and do it right now. Shout out to Nika Ma Mensa. Shout out to you, Mensa. I don't know if you're Sierra Leone or Liberian, but you know, shout out to you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I mean, well, for the support in buying the documentary. So if you have not bought the documentary yet, make sure you go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. Again, if you have not bought the documentary yet, please go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. I greatly appreciate it, and I love you all for it. Also, tours are coming up. Tours are coming up if you are interested in traveling to Africa with us. Again, if you're interested in traveling to Africa with us, please visit Danfo, DANFO.Africa. Again, please visit. Somebody said I'm glitching. Oh, I'm sorry. Please visit Danfo, DANFO.Africa. Again, please visit Danfo, DANFO.Africa. If you're interested in traveling to Africa with us, and I will greatly appreciate it. Hit us up, holla at us, all that good stuff. We'll love to see you guys on the tour. We'll love to see you guys travel with us on the tour. We are rolling to Sierra Leone November 20th through December 3rd. Again, we are rolling to Sierra Leone November 20th through December 3rd. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. Again, citizenship is available to those who qualify. First things first, in fact, I got it right here. I need to go ahead and put this in my bag right now. You need your African ancestry DNA results, which link you back. It said it's crackling noise. Oh, God, come on, y'all. Hold on one second. Okay, so you need your African ancestry. African ancestry DNA results. Again, your African ancestry DNA results, which link you back to Sierra Leone, okay? That's the first step. Like, this is like the main, again, this is the main meat and potatoes. You got to have this, all right? Your DNA results, which link you back to Sierra Leone. You got to have that, okay? You got to have that. So make sure you get that. You got those results. Hit me up. There's going to be a ceremony in, it's going to be probably early December, the actual ceremony. Hit me up. Come, bro. Come and get what is yours, which is your Sierra Leonean passport, and join Team Dual Citizenship. We'll love to have you all. We will love to have you all be a part of Team Dual Citizenship. Y'all, come and join Team Dual Citizenship. What else we got here? So yeah, go to donfo.africa to learn more. Send me an email and I will holler back at you guys. Again, I will holler back at you guys. Let's see here. Let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with Nigeria. And I'll tell you guys this story. I've shared this story before of the this was, oh, what happened? It took the video down. What? Hold on. No, the video is still up, but hold on. We're going to figure this out. Hold on. Because the video is still up. Hold on, the video is still up. Hold on one second. Oh, there we go. There we go. And I tell this story all the time. You know, you have a lot of, not just Nigerians, but foreigners who think that America, that there's, so I tell people this as well. So when you're in Africa, all right, do you rarely find change on the ground? In Africa, you rarely find change on the ground. Here in America, you walk around, you'll find a nickel, a dime, a quarter, sometimes a $5 bill, sometimes a $10 bill. If you're lucky enough, you'll find a $100 bill on the ground. But in Africa, you're not going to find any change on the ground. So a lot of my African family, my Black family, you know, my non-FBA, non-ADOS family, they'll be like, yeah, they tell us there's money on the ground in Africa. I'm sorry. They tell us there is money on the ground in America. There is money on the ground in America. They tell us there's money on the ground in America. So I'm coming to America because they think that money is just on the ground in America. That the streets of America is filled with money. And then I remember, I think this was 2019, maybe. I was in Nigeria and I caught an Uber to ABC Transport so I could catch the bus back to Cotonou. I was in Nigeria. I caught the bus from Lagos to Cotonou. Again, I caught the bus from Lagos to Cotonou. And I caught an Uber to take me to the ABC Transport bus station. And I remember I'm in the Uber, and the guy is just complaining and upset about Nigeria. He's like, we suffer in Nigeria, we suffer in Nigeria, we suffer. And then he gave an example. And this is the example he gave of how successful he will be if he were to move to America. He said his friend is making $15 an hour in LA. No, it was a man. He was like, we suffer in Nigeria, we suffer. And he was like, listen, you got my friend makes $15 in LAO. He makes $15 an hour in LAO. And I had to explain to him, $15 an hour in LA, that's nothing. He's sleeping on somebody's floor. Again, he is sleeping on somebody's floor in LA. He's like 5 deep in a maybe a 2-bedroom apartment at best in LA, making $15 an hour. But all this guy can understand is $15 an hour. I had to tell him $15 an hour in LA is nothing. So here we go. Nigerian, now this is the UK. Nigerian lady pays, guys, if you round this up, it depends the black market rate versus the bank. 335,000 naira from a bank is about $800. It's about $800. Black market, it can be $650 to $700. So would you say she pays $750 a month for a one-room apartment in the UK? She made a video about it. A Nigerian lady got many people talking when she revealed she spends 335,000 naira for a bedroom apartment in the UK every month. Inside the room is a small student bed as people wonder how much she is earning to keep up with the payment. This is her bed. That's a twin size bed, guys. That is her twin size bed in the UK. Living like this. Grown ass adult. This is an adult living and sleeping on a twin size bed, paying $800 a month almost. The lady said that the money included water and electricity bills. And I guess that's her wig. Oh God, that's her wig right there on the TV. On the I guess the utility cabinet, whatever you want to call it, utility shelves. That's her wig. Managing one room in the UK, another part had a table. Here we go. Let's go back up. A Nigerian lady who stays in the UK has revealed in a video how much she shells out for her one-room apartment in a foreign country. Filming a small house, the lady stated that she pays a monthly rent of, hold on, 399 pounds. Or that's pounds, it's not euro. Hold on. These numbers ain't adding up. Hold on. 399 pounds. That's $467. But that's a pound. 399 pounds does not equal 335,000 naira. Something is off. These numbers are off. A part of the house has her bed at a corner. Managing one room in the UK, another part had a table and board with sticky notes on it. The lady said that is where she brainstorms. She said that her bathroom is, however, very nice. Here we go. Let's watch the video.
Hi. So I figured I never really took you on a tour around my apartment, but here it is. I spent a total of €399 per month for light, water, and everything that works well in the apartment. So let me show you my little room. This is it. This is my space. Let's start from the intellectual section. This is where I do most of my thinking, my working, and brain work, basically. This is my little bed over there. I was working on the floor. That's why my laptop was there. I mean, why not? Then taking it to my shoe rack. We don't really have a shoe rack, but this is where I keep most of my shoes. It's not so many because I didn't carry a lot from Nigeria. Here's the TV that doesn't work or probably speaks only German. So we do not have a dress, section. So I just have to like manage this little tiny rectangular mirror right there. Taking you to my locker. Bunch of girly stuff, right? That's where I fold my clothes because I didn't have hangers. My laundry bag where I put my laundry clothes, and then this is the part of the locker that I don't really use as much, but I keep it as a warehouse for my accessories. Let's take you to the kitchenette section. This is it. I actually do share this place with another person, but gladly I didn't have anybody because it was supposed to be a girl and a girl, but it was a guy and a girl. So yeah, these are all my things. Every single one of them. I bought all of these things from Nigeria. So the microwave it came with the room. This cabinet is loaded. Yeah, down there is like the Nigerian stuff, some of the Nigerian things I came with, and then I got eggs and these are the foreign stuff that I had over there that I bought over there. And the detergent, they don't use soap and omo like every normal person. You have to buy liquids just to clean your freaking house. So yeah, there's that. No fire burner, it's just electric. I think that's how it is for students, these apartments. And this is where I keep my cutlery, my stuff, this is my little fridge. I was expected to share this fridge with somebody, but I don't know how I was going to do that because this fridge is so small. So in this fridge, there are a lot of choppy things that spoil my teeth. And thank God though. This is my roommate's room. The roommate I don't have, by the way. So yeah, that's it. This is my toilet. I can literally eat in this toilet. It is so clean and white. Like maintenance is 100%. I love this toilet so much. I can literally sit down there. Then this is the bedroom. So I don't even get if I'm bathing and I want to sharply use the toilet, I have to run over to the other side of the room just to use it. I don't understand these people's operation, no. But yeah, that's my bedroom. Very sleeky, cute, and normal. Yeah, just there. Taking it to the lobby. So sometimes I feel like I'm the only person in this building because there are people in the rooms, but there's nobody outside. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to communicate. Everybody's always in their space. That's the own community issue. And that's not how I grew up. So I usually spend my time in that meeting section because there's a lot of internet and there's actually free internet. So I have to like always spend my time on my phone and it's freaking annoying. So I drop my phone in my room and I come and stay here. So tell me if it was worth it.
Candace, that's a good question. Is home ownership low in the UK among Black Brits, Black immigrants? I'm gonna ask that real quick. Hold on, let me ask that real quick on on Facebook. That's a good question. Yeah, I just asked that question. I just posted it. When I get an answer, I'll let you know. Yeah, that does look like a student dorm. That's what I'm saying. It looks like a student dorm. It looks like she's in school. No, it looks like a student dorm. It's like she's in a dorm room. Because when I was in the dorms, my first year at the University of Georgia, when we had the athletic dorm, I shared a room and I had a twin size bed. It was uncomfortable as hell. That's not right. It's because so they said it was like 336,000 naira. So 336,000 naira does not equal 399 pounds. That's way off. $336,000 is more like 670 pounds. It's like 670 pounds. So yeah. So next on topic, next on the agenda, Liberia. My dear beloved Liberia has been sanctioned by the US. So we're going to take a look at that real quick. Liberia has been sanctioned by the US. Why? With all the not the countries, actual individuals. Okay, so individuals have been sanctioned. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, 3 members of government. Okay, that makes sense because I'm like, why did Liberia get singled out? All the corruption going on in the world. Why did Liberia get singled out? So here we go. Imposing sanctions on Syrian government officials. The United States is designating Liberian government officials Nathan McGill, Minister of State for Presidential Affairs and Chief of Staff to President George Weah, Sama Cyrenius Cephas, the Solicitor General and Chief Prosecutor of Liberia, and Bill Tuawe, the Managing Director of the National Port Authority, for their involvement in ongoing public corruption in Liberia. McGill has used his position to undermine the integrity and independence of Liberia's democratic institutions and subvert government priorities for personal gain. Cephas has developed close relationships with suspects of credible investigations and has received bribes from individuals in exchange for arranging for their cases to be dropped. Okay. Tuawe has used his position at the NPA to corruptly advance his own personal wealth and political agenda. All 3 are being designated pursuant to Executive Order 13818, which builds upon and implements the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act. It targets perpetrators of serious human rights abuse and corruption around the world. All 3 of these individuals have contributed to Liberia's worsening corruption. These designations reflect our commitment to implementing the United States strategy on countering corruption. Why are Liberians being singled out? That's my question. Out of all the people they could sanction, why Liberians? This don't make sense. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. And also, guys, let me real quick, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Again, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Again, when it comes to, the online beefs, when it comes to, Black people returning back to Africa, I'm pretty sure some of this could be handled offline. I always get both sides of the story. Some of this could be handled online. I'm sorry, offline. A lot of this could be handled offline. Because again, if you're trying to advance certain initiatives like citizenship in Africa, what I'm telling you is these African governments and officials, they're watching these videos. Again, they're watching these videos. So guys, just try to handle this stuff offline. And again, if you can't come to solution offline and the person is just, and individual is just super shady, then yeah, if you got to do an expose, go ahead. But some of this stuff could be handled offline. So I just want to share that message today. Guys, I'm going to put the link in the chat room. If you'd like to call in, please click on the link and call in. Again, if you'd like to call in, please click on the link and call in. And guys, make sure if you have not bought the documentary, again, if you have not bought the documentary, please go to searchforuhuru.com. Go to searchforuhuru.com. amirdynast.com and buy the documentary again and buy the documentary. Go to searchforwho.com. Again, go to searchforwho.com and buy the documentary. Okay. Viceroy, go ahead.
Dynast is J Dolo. Sorry, I don't know why it changes my name, but it's J Dolo.
No problem.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
Hey man, I'm going good, brother. How are you?
Awesome, man. I can't complain. Thank you for all the work that you do. So I just wanted to call in and touch on the Liberian sanctions. I don't know what your experience is in Liberia or when you go there or how well you know the political climate, right? So when I go to Liberia, you have these government ministers, representatives, these guys that drive around in like $100,000 cars, have 15 different girlfriends, basically building houses for them and their family while the rest of the country is starving. So I am in full support of the sanctions.
You could say the same thing about America. You can say the same thing about just about any country.
Right, but comparing America to Liberia is completely different in the sense that there's private industry here. Like here, if you want to work, there's a job for you. Unless you just don't want to work and live off the government too. But you can always find a job in America. In Liberia, it's not the same situation. And with even the president, our current president, I won't say his name, but this is a man who couldn't afford to paint his own house before he ran for president. He couldn't afford to paint his own house. Now, when he got into power, he's building properties. I think he owns in Liberia alone, well over 40, 50 houses, from what I hear. So I'm not surprised by the sanctions. It's only but so long that these guys can keep getting away with it, stealing money from the country, stealing money from budget surpluses or budgets or whatever. Basically trying to fund projects. The projects never get done because they stole all the money. So I am in full support of the sanctions. I hope more sanctions come down, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right. Guys, hit the like button. So what other sanctions would you want? Who else would you want to see sanctioned? When you say more sanctions coming down, like what?
A lot of people in the CDC government, a lot of people in this current government. Just some of the deals that they were doing were just mind-boggling. For instance, I mean, you would have people who would sign contracts with companies to build roads, build certain infrastructures, and they would steal the money. Like I'm saying, like it's a clusterfuck, basically. So
somebody brought up a great point in the chat room. Wouldn't we have money from his soccer career?
No, he went broke. He was completely broke. That's a lie. A lot of his supporters like to say, "Oh, he had money." He did not have any money from his soccer career. He was completely broke. He could not afford to paint his own house before he ran for president. This is a fact.
Oh wow. Well, he's the president now. That's what Liberia's elected. So.
I mean, just the fact that he was elected president just tells a lot about Liberia. This is a man that I don't think he can read and write at like a 5th grade level. I really don't. Have you ever heard him you ever heard him read anything like publicly? It's embarrassing.
Not really, no.
So
not really. What so who was the other who ran against Rhea? It was
I think it was Cummings.
What was his name?
It was the guy from the Cummings. It was Cummings. The guy from here.
Cummings.
Yeah,
Alexander
he's from
Cummings, right?
Atlanta. He used to work for Coca-Cola.
Right. So why did people vote for
Because they view him as an outsider. Because I mean, I guess he worked for Coca-Cola in Africa, but he was out of Liberia too long. They viewed him as an outsider, and it was basically how I see it. It was a popularity contest. So I think George Weah was just gonna win because it goes to the previous regime. I think George Weah was gonna win because he was endorsed by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and then once Ellen left power, and George Weah took the seat. Basically, it was, from what I hear, I don't know if this is true or not. Let me just put it out there. But from what I hear, because Ellen's son, Robert Sirleaf, got sanctioned as well by the U.S. government way back.
Well, he got arrested, didn't he? Wasn't he arrested?
Right. Yeah, he was.
I think he was.
I know he was sanctioned. I don't know if he was arrested or not, but I know he was sanctioned. So the story goes basically, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf supported George Weah because there was basically an agreement made that once he got into power, he wouldn't prosecute her son. So that's why she didn't support even her own vice president. Her vice president was running to become president. She didn't support him. She supported George Weah because of that deal in place.
What's the next election? 2023 or 24?
23, I believe. 2023.
Okay, you think Cummings? Who's going to run against Weah?
Cummings is running against him. Joseph Boycott is running against him. I don't know who's going to win. You could with Liberia, you never know. You never know. But me personally, I support Cummings. I do. But
okay, guys, listen. Links in the chat room. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in, again, if you want to call in, please click on the link. If you want to call in, please click on the link. Also, guys, hit the like button. Please hit the like button. But if you want to call in and add to the conversation, please call in and add to the conversation. But like I said, we won. Hold on, I'm trying to look it up right here.
So, Dennis, let me ask you this.
Election Liberia. Okay, the head of state, the president of Liberia, is elected to a 6-year term.
Yeah, 6 years.
Huh?
Yeah, it's 6 years. Yeah.
Okay, that's long. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that might not, next election might not be the 2024 2025.
I believe it's 23. I believe it's 23.
Oh, it was 2000. It is next year. Okay, yeah, they had the election 2017. Okay, so it is next year.
Let me ask you this. So what is you sort of being outside of Liberia, what is the perception of George Weah like outside of the country?
I mean, we hear the rumors that I just me personally I can't confirm, but I mean they say that people, again, everything that you said, people say he's not educated. You know, he was voted in because of popularity. You know, pretty much the same things that you say, but again, to say that's the truth, the majority of Liberians voted for him, so that's who you guys got.
Man. I don't know. Like, it's just Liberians just they shock me. I don't know. I mean, it says a lot about Liberia that we elected him president in the first place.
Yeah, so that's what it is. Let's see here. You got 61% of the vote. So, you know, hey.
And he's been running the country into the ground ever since.
Well, hey, that's what you guys voted for. You know,
when are you going to Liberia?
I need to get back to Liberia, man. I might go.
I'm in December if you can.
I won't have time.
Oh man.
You know, actually, I might have to. If I don't have to, yeah, I don't know because I have to go back to Senegal. Because I'm going to Sierra Leone in November, and I'll be there till early December. But after that, I have to go back to Senegal, or I could go to Liberia for a couple of days. It depends. It depends how things shape up.
Yeah, just come. I'll be there in December. Come, hit me up. You know, we'll go out. I'll take you to like 231, all those different places.
Oh, are you in Liberia?
No. I live in America, but I go to Liberia every December.
When are you going in December? When?
Before Christmas. So I usually
I'll probably be gone because if I go to Liberia, it'll be like that second week of December.
Oh, okay. No, I think I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll be there. We'll work something.
Yeah, just let me know. Pan African Capitalists, go ahead.
What's going on, brothers? Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, cool. So yeah, man, I saw that maybe about a couple weeks ago. They had a couple news articles and videos about the sanctions. Honestly, I don't really know much about Liberia, and I'm not sure why the U.S. State Department is taking the time out to sanction Liberia, especially with all this stuff going on with Russia and Ukraine. You got the tension in the East dealing with China and stuff like that. I understand they have corruption, but I just don't understand the geopolitical purpose of sanctioning members of the Liberian administration for corruption. I mean, because let's be real. I mean, there's people all throughout the world. I mean, Guatemala is one of the most corrupt countries in the world in Central America. So why are they honing in specifically on Liberia? I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of weird to me.
I can answer
I,
that. So
I'm open. My ears are open, brother.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Basically, how it is like Liberia is basically a free for all. Like you said, government corruption is nothing new to any place in the world. Every single country has government corruption, but with Liberia, it's just gotten so bad that the U.S. felt like they had to step in. You have the guy who runs the port. He controls everything that comes in and out of the port of Liberia. That's a very lucrative position to have. And to be honest, the sanctions on these guys, I don't think is going to affect them a lot because they have more money probably in their houses in cash in Liberia that they can use within the country than what the sanctions. The only thing that they can't do is come to America or use any of the assets in like an American bank or whatever. Or I guess like international banks, but they're still very, very cash heavy. They're not hurting at all.
So yeah, and then there's alternatives. I mean, you got Dubai, Singapore,
right,
banks in those countries. So,
but to answer your question, I think the corruption level has gotten so bad in Liberia that they basically it was a bunch of red flags that they basically had to step in.
Interesting. Cause I'm like, man, I've been to Nigeria, man. I've been, I've been to Ghana. There's Nigeria all over Africa, all over the world, really. More so in other places. But I've never been to Liberia, so I don't know the level of corruption. I just know that probably Mexico, parts of Mexico and Nigeria, out of all the places I've been to, those are probably the two places that I've seen the most pronounced corruption, like just in your face corruption, like something that you normally it's supposed to be free in a normal country, but in this country they're trying to charge you for.
You definitely haven't been to Liberia because I'm telling you, man, the only way to get anything done in Liberia is to grease some palms.
Basically, well, I mean, it's that's every country.
Yeah, but I mean,
but I understand there's levels to it.
It's level exactly. It's a level. So even for prime example, even when I go back home to the bank to get my money out of the bank, I have to pay someone so I don't wait in line, and I have to pay someone to get my money for me, or else it won't get done. To get my own money from the bank.
Gotcha. That's crazy. That's
crazy. That's just like small stuff. I'm not even talking
next
about
level.
Exactly.
That's next level corruption.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but everywhere is corrupt. But what
I did want to check out Liberia though, because you should. Especially since this new court ruling by the Supreme Court out there, possibility dual citizenship, right. Being African American, ADOS, FBA, whatever you want to call it, I think that could be something to look into. But for me personally, some of the things I'm gonna just be honest. Some things kind of bother me about Liberia because it's a lot of things.
Like what?
My biggest thing that bothers me about Liberia, outside of the corruption and the underdevelopment, is it's a lot of things in that country that they've mimicked from the U.S. And I kind of like being in African countries where it's like
like what? Give me an example.
I'll give you a bunch of examples. The name of the towns, the name of the cities, the government system.
Yeah, but do you know the history of Liberia?
They have like American license plates.
Yeah,
American school buses. It's a lot of stuff that they've kind of grafted from the U.S. and part of, there's a lot of reasons I like being in African countries, but part of being in African countries that I like is that just simple stuff like that is a little bit different,
right?
But
listen, a Pan-African capitalist, you have to understand that Liberia is essentially an unofficial colony of the United States. So even the Constitution is based off the U.S., the flag is based off the U.S., except we have one star where they have 50. Like you said, a lot of the towns and roads, we have a Louisiana in Liberia, we have a Maryland,
right.
So it really, it's an unofficial colony of the U.S. and that's if that bothers you, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I understand the reasoning. I understand the reasoning at all because I understand that it was created by free black
Right.
Americans, and so they pretty much
Controlled
kind
by
of
whites.
they pretty well. I don't know about all that,
I
but
say
Yeah, I don't know
control.
about that.
you know,
What white people control Liberia? I don't. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I say controlled by the Lebanese and more so than
controlled by Liberians.
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it's just something that bothers me a little bit, But it is what it is. I mean, I ain't gonna make too big of. I'm gonna check it out eventually. My travel list is kind of full for this year. I'm already going back to Ghana, Tanzania, Rwanda, and I may hit up Egypt because one of my buddies been doing he's been doing tours there. But the other thing too, man, I do agree with Dynast. These African governments are looking at the influencers on social media. It's a lot of guys like Dynast and others that are content creators and are talking about the countries, and they're looking at those guys. They're looking at you guys, and they're also looking at just the general, the news in America. Like whenever they have some crazy news, they're definitely paying attention to that. People fighting and shootouts and all of this crazy type of stuff. Because they don't want this foolishness in their countries at the end of the day, especially if you're in a peaceful country like Rwanda or Ghana that has low violent crime rate and stuff like that. They don't want that stuff kind of coming over to their countries.
This might be off topic, but I heard a lot of good things about Rwanda. I actually, I might be interested in visiting. You guys been there?
It'll be my first trip to Rwanda this December, but from everything that I've seen as far as like content creators that have traveled, man, it looks pretty dope, man. It's like one of the cleanest countries I've ever seen.
Awesome. Okay.
So
and let me just address Joy M. Cooper. You said the Lebanese are merchants, not in government. I beg to differ. They don't want to get in government, but they have all of the government in their pocket. They have all the representatives in their pocket. They trust me. They're in government unofficially.
So they're playing the game, huh?
They're playing the game at a high level. At a high level. The Lebanese have all the government officials.
Are they the big
they're the big cheese out there. They're the bee's knees.
Okay. So it's Lebanese, and who's after them?
Is only Lebanese and probably Chinese. I would say second.
Chinese, okay.
Yeah, but that's mainly in Monrovia. But if you go to where we're from, like where my family is from, like the Great African Dynasty, that's my uncle. You go to Nimba, we control everything. We control that economy. Okay. There's no Lebanese in Nimba. It's not like we control that economy.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably go to, if I go or when I go, I'm gonna probably go to Monrovia. I like to check out the capital cities first. Then if I'm brave enough, depending on the country, I kind of spread out. I gotta see what the temperature is, because I know it was getting a little wild in Sierra Leone and Kenya these past couple weeks. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to be out there during those civil unrest times.
Hey, what's up? Hey, Viceroy, I just wanted to ask you, what nation was that you said controls their own government? Did you just say?
Wait, what? What nation? No, it's not a nation. It's a part of Liberia. It's
okay.
It's the northern part of Liberia in the mountains. Nimba, that's where my family's from. And
Nimba, okay.
We don't. Yeah, the Lebanese haven't taken over there. Like we control everything. Liberians.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to chime in just real quick. I have to go, but I was listening to the discussion on Liberia. To my understanding, that is, like you said earlier, basically an American colony, unless you guys
that's not true.
Well, this is from my research. When the blacks that went back or that were established in Liberia, that was financed 100% by white folks, and they took all of their orders from those white folks. As far as how everything was,
how much money was these white folks sending to these Liberians that went back?
Well, not enough, but
right. So they weren't sending enough money. How can they control them rooted to the 100%? It was
they didn't. That's why it fell apart.
No, it fell apart when.
When they had when our people were over there, so-called in authority, they gave up that authority to the people that were financing them. And just like every other African so-called government, it is controlled and financed by foreign interests.
Who's our
The resources
of
Liberia, the resources of Liberia and the politics of Liberia are not financed by Africans, just like any other country in Africa.
Sir, I was just asking you say when our people were there before, who's our people and who do they sell or give up to?
Yes, when there was a so-called colony, I can't remember the year, but they sent some so-called free blacks to establish a so-called free nation for blacks in Liberia. Well, that's how Liberia was pretty much established.
It was a dumping ground. It was a dumping ground.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. So when people think, but it was under the guise of blacks being in control when they really were not in control. That was my point.
Who was in
control?
Who was in control?
There was a white organization that financed that entire situation.
Okay, so the American Colonization Society was created because white people in America were scared shitless because of the Haitian Revolution. So they were afraid as shit that, okay, number one, you know, these slaves revolt, we're going to be in trouble because slaves outnumbered white people on these plantations. So they were scared shitless. So that's number one. Number two, like, okay, we'll free the slaves, but they'll never have the same rights as white people. So what are we going to do with them? Abraham Lincoln originally wanted to send black people to the Caribbean, but then the American colonization came up and they were like, listen, we'll just send them to Liberia. And there were many years where the American Colonization Society didn't even have enough funds to support this so-called Liberian experiment. Again, it was a dumping ground.
Yeah, another thing that I found out recently, right? You know, I found out W.E.B. Du Bois actually had an audio autobiography where he did like an audio recording of his life, and what he mentioned a lot of Pan-African moves that he made, you know, with different leaders, helping them get free and helping them in their struggle. But he also mentioned that at a certain point in American history, Black Americans were considering themselves like African, and they were calling themselves African. That's why if you look at a lot of those churches, like the African, what's it called, Episcopal, something like that.
And the Methodist African, yeah.
Yeah, you had a lot of African organizations that was coming up like in the 1800s, 1900s. But what he said was that the middle class, you know, business people and intellectual people in Black America, what they found out is that the United States were sending Black people to Liberia because they wanted to get rid of all of the middle class, upper middle class, and wealthy Black people, and leave only a labor class in the US. And so
they wanted to get rid of the so-called when Black people were freed in the South. You know, at first Black people were cool on the plantations, but when they were freed, white people started to consider them uppity niggas for the most part. And when they were competing with white people, when it comes to economically, when Black people were setting up their own businesses, these white people hated Black folks. So that's part of the reason why the ACS was created, because again, they did not want to give equal rights to Black people here in America. So they said send them to Liberia.
So Dynast, let me ask you,
because I think it was. Let me just say this last thing, brother. Because I think it was about, I think they said they sent about 15,000 people, but he talked about how a lot of the people that originally was going to go actually changed their mind when they found out that they were trying to get rid of, you know, the intelligent Black people and just keep, you know, the illiterate ones so they could have them as a labor class, you know, kind of what Dr. Claude Anderson talks about, the permanent underclass. So.
Well, let me ask you this, Dynast. So in Liberia today, who would you say is financing the government and the politics there?
I can answer that.
Go ahead, Vice President.
I can answer that. It's mostly foreign aid, and I would say the Chinese.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I was going to bring up with my point with Liberia earlier with the whole sanctions issue is I just want to say that I think that to be like, oh, well, they need to be sanctioned, I think that we have to always remember that they're corrupt because of foreign interests. It's not that the Liberians are themselves in control, it's because of foreign interests. They have the situation where they have set up puppets that are ruling as warlords over their own people, having them starve.
Sankara, Patrice Bishop. Listen, bro, I go to Liberia every single year, every December. I can tell you for a fact, it's not no foreign interest. These guys are greedy. These guys are greedy. They love to have 20 girlfriends around Monrovia, drive around in $85,000 cars.
Who's paying them? Who's paying them? Who's
the
paying
government?
them?
But what
and where are they getting the money?
What I'm saying is, listen, that you're doing like bait and switch. This is
I'm not doing anything. I'm asking you. You just said that the interests were not African interests.
All I'm saying is,
you just said.
All I'm saying is, personal responsibility has to come into play at some point. You cannot tell me that these guys are getting $15,000 a month salary to work in the government.
They're all scumbags. All
scumbags. Exactly.
Yes.
That's why they're getting.
But what I'm asking you is, who's controlling the politics and the economy that they're getting all their money from? Where are they getting that from?
They're getting it from the government.
Where are they getting it from?
Like I told you, the government relies mostly on foreign aid, and then that's the main reason why America can sanction them, because they're the ones giving them money.
Problem. That's the problem.
How is that the problem? They didn't sanction the entire government of Liberia. They sanctioned 3 individuals that were corrupt.
Right.
No, brother. I feel you, brother. But what I'm saying is they're in power because of foreign interests having them in power. They need to be dealt with as well.
No, they're not.
They were voted in, man.
I thought you just said the government was financed by foreign powers.
They are, but it's a democracy.
The government
There's no such thing as a democracy.
Listen, the government is financed by foreign aid, maybe some other governments like the Chinese, whatever. But that doesn't change the fact that it's still there's no foreign person in the government of Liberia. It's all Liberians. A foreign person can't hold office, is what I'm telling you. They control their government and how they divvy up that money.
Yes, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that money they're divvying up, they're getting it from who?
From the American government.
Okay. So again, to be like, let's just
let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this. So do you think that the American government would always want to send money to Liberia rather than them being independent on their own?
If they can benefit from the resources of Liberia, yes.
So how are they benefiting?
Because all the people in Africa, period, and Liberia, they don't get to control the resources or the economy or the industry. They have the corporations and industries benefiting and making all the money and making all the paying off all the politicians.
The U.S. government,
and while the people starve. That's why.
How does that benefit the U.S. government?
Because it benefits the corporations of the Europeans and the Americans and everybody else who's in power.
What are you talking about? Corporations are not the government.
Corporations finance governments.
No, they don't.
No, Sankara is making. Sankara is correct in this discussion, right?
Sometimes we argue about I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, if America can control the policies that's coming from your country, then they're obviously benefiting something from it.
Yes, it's called colonization. It's called colonization.
What's the benefit?
That's not colonization.
What's the
benefit?
Not
colonization. What
America gives money to several countries every single year in foreign aid. What's the benefit that they're getting?
They need aid because they're starving. Why are they starving?
How does that benefit the U.S. government? What is the benefit?
I'm trying to answer you. I'm trying to answer you. It benefits the U.S. government. I'm trying to answer you. Can I answer the question?
Yes, sir.
It benefits the U.S. government because the U.S. government gets money from the resources, mineral resources, and otherwise from these countries. They get to get money. They get to make money off of the land and everything, mineral resources from the land, and they need to give aid to the people because the people aren't benefiting from their own resources. So what they do is the corporations get rich with all these companies.
Which corporations?
There's all kinds of corporations. I can find them out for you. For example, okay, let's say there's gold, or let's say there's diamonds, or let's say there's just food. Let's say there's land where you're doing farming. Okay, the people of Liberia or Africa, because this is all over, They don't benefit from that. They outsource all of their resources to the Europeans so they can get rich and their corporations can flourish. And the people have no jobs. They have no food of their own. And so the UN and them give them aid and bologna sandwiches and porridge in
That's a
exchange.
fact.
You're not
That's
making sense. You're
colonization.
not.
He makes a
Let
lot
me
of
just
sense.
address
Man,
that.
that's
Wait,
you're
let me just
This
address
is
that.
not
Let me
even
just address that.
this is just
First off,
obvious stuff.
first off, if you're gonna talk about a corporation that's benefiting in Liberia, it's gonna be Firestone. Firestone is a major corporation that's been there for 100 years plus that's benefiting from Liberia. It's not the U.S.
rubber company.
The U.S. government is really not benefiting too much from Liberia. It's really not.
If Firestone is
Secondly,
benefited, then the U.S. government is benefited.
You don't think the U.S.
It's
government benefits
by
from
proxy, by
the
taxpayer money?
money that their
yeah, tax
companies
money.
make around the world?
Viceroy is correct.
Wait.
Viceroy is correct.
What makes y'all think that they're paying money to the American government for operations that they do in the U.S.? Anything
It's the
that's
same
done
thing with
outside.
oil. There's no government-owned oil company, but they will go to war for oil for the big companies, wouldn't they? It's the same thing.
It's not the
That's what I'm saying.
the government owned oil company that was in the U.S. got broken up. That's how you have Shell, you have Chevron, you have all these other places.
That's my
That
whole
was
point. But
that's
if Shell
something
has a
completely different.
problem, the United States government will step in.
No, it's not. I mean, not
Yes, it
necessarily.
will.
No,
Yes,
no, no,
Yes, it
yes,
no.
it
will.
is.
Yes, it
No,
will.
no. American government is not going to come in
Hell.
and save every company. Lehman
Not
Brothers went out of
every
business.
company.
They're
Very
gonna
big
save the big
corporations.
companies.
Huge
Lehman
ones.
Brothers went out of business. That was one of the biggest banks on Wall Street. They went out of business because the U.S.
Okay,
made
that's
a
one
profit from it.
example. There's a lot of
Yeah,
them
what are
that
y'all
didn't go
talking
out of
about?
business.
The American government
We're
is not
not
just going
saying
to fund
they're
any
fail
company.
proof.
That's what I hate about
We're
this
just
panel.
saying
Some
that they
things we
look
argue
after
about something that's so
their
obvious.
investments all
Listen.
around the world.
All I'm saying is his point was wrong for the simple fact that I know people who can negotiate contracts with the Chinese, with different European companies, with every. It doesn't have to be the U.S. government.
No, it's not directly the U.S. government, but if they do
That's
have
what I'm
a
saying. Like,
problem,
how
they
does the
will
U.S.
reach out
government
to the
benefit from Liberia? That was my entire question.
The U.S. government benefits from Liberia by first off, I don't know how to word it. That's my only problem. But
how? That's what I'm saying. How does the?
I think Sankara already did enough to prove his point, honestly. Because we're going back and forth. Of course, America is going to help its companies all around the globe. Of course, America wants influence in Liberia and other African countries. It's like asking why does China build these political connections with African countries. And the UN, when African countries have a lot of a good amount of power in the UN with their vote, you know, having that influence could change global politics around the world. Not to mention, America has companies that, you know, are all around the world that help them bring revenue back to America.
I'm talking about
America,
of course,
employees,
America is
government.
going to want influence in
Liberia.
these countries. Yes, that applies to Liberia as well.
During the rule of what's his name? Is it John Doe? I mean, what's that Doe guy? The president? What's his name?
You don't even know the name of the.
I mean, if I don't know the name, I still trying to make a point.
Viceroy, I agree with you, Viceroy. I'm gonna stick with the Liberian brother on the ground, man.
I go there every December. Like I see this shit in real life.
I think these guys are just kind of superimposing stuff that happened in other countries onto that particular country.
I don't think you guys are fully understanding how geopolitics works. That's the problem. Why Macron just recently went to Cameroon, my country, and he was making a whole big speech about how African countries should be supporting the Ukraine and opposing Russia in the United Nations. So that's a big example of how your influence in Africa benefits them. Do you guys understand now?
When the farmers took their land back in Zimbabwe, sanctions from the American government was put on Zimbabwe. Yes or no?
I don't know that. I don't know. I'm not from Zimbabwe. I'm from
Go do the research. It's not about Zimbabwe.
Alex B, to answer your question, I'm well versed in geopolitics. I've studied it for over 10 years. I come from a political family, to be honest, but I don't think you guys are on point with your analysis and when it comes to Liberia. I'm not saying those things don't happen in other countries, but to say that happened, that's what's going on in Liberia right now, is kind of off base in my opinion.
Okay. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Explain to me what's going on in Liberia then.
All right, do your own research. Go ahead.
So you're saying the what do you call it? Well, fuck, the sanctions that America put on those specific Liberian politicians, that isn't, you know, hurtful to Liberia. That doesn't
Not at
influence
all.
Liberia
Not at all.
in some sort of way.
Not at all. What benefit
Why
do these
not?
guys bring Liberia? They don't
Because
do
it's
shit for the country.
just personal sanctions. It's not. They didn't
Right.
sanction
What are you
the
talking
country.
Yeah, but that's
You have a
politics
difference.
in your country.
Listen, you
But
have a
it's
difference
influencing
between.
politics. It'll be like if
You have a difference
Liberia
between
or
sanctioning.
country
Hold on.
sanctioned
One mic.
One person.
Hold on.
Democrat or
It's
Republican
a difference.
in America.
It's a difference if you sanction an individual and if you sanction the entire country.
Exactly.
There is
Only
no
thing that's going to happen.
Controls policy in your country.
The only thing that's going to happen with these sanctions of these individuals is they're probably going to have any U.S. assets is probably going to be seized. So if they have any properties or bank accounts, they won't be able to access those things, and they probably won't be able to come to the U.S. That's the only thing that's going to happen.
Let me ask Alex B this question, right? So how would them sanctioning these three individuals that one of them I know very well, very, very well, how would that impact Liberia negatively?
Basically, it keeps the politicians in Liberia in the U.S.'s good side. Otherwise, there could be repercussions that, you know, affects them and their income or their investments in the country or other countries. How do you not understand this?
So how does that affect Liberia?
America, huh?
How does that affect Liberia as a whole?
They're basically choosing your leaders for you.
No, they're not. No, they're
100,000.
not.
Yes, they are with these.
No,
with these,
they're not.
with these sanctions.
These are people who were elected by the people. They're not choosing anybody. They didn't choose a president. They're not choosing nobody. These are people who
electing government costs money, bro. It costs money. They put a face there.
The U.S. government has no fucking interest in who runs for representative in River G or River Sex or who runs for representative in NIMA. That's the people's decision.
Look, we're not saying America comes by and just picks whoever they want. I'm just saying that they have a big influence on who takes that leadership position.
So wait, Alex,
positions in America with these politicians.
Those three individuals that got sanctioned, they have a massive influence on Liberia as a whole. Are they like the one making policy? Are they the one controlling everything? No.
Let me ask you this. Let's just say this is hypothetical. Liberia has a lot of oil, right? And then one day, the Liberian government, like the president says, we are not selling our oil to any U.S. company anymore.
I would actually encourage that.
I know that I'm saying. Do you think it's going to be a problem? Do you think it's going to be repercussions?
I think no. There obviously there will be repercussions, but at the end of the day,
from who?
Probably from OPEC.
Okay.
Yeah, probably from OPEC.
So not from the U.S.
government. The American government.
No, we know you exactly.
I mean, but to be honest, the U.S. has more oil here that they haven't dug up.
No, it's just hypothetical speaking.
That's what I'm saying. Like the U.S. has more oil in America that they haven't dug up.
It was obviously a hypothetical statement. I'm just saying, if you don't play ball, they will come after you. They will
but listen to what I'm saying. You're comparing apples and oranges. Okay. That's a situation where that involves the entire country. That involves the entire government. In this situation, the U.S. government sanctioned 3 individuals who were extremely corrupt, and I know one of them personally. I used to mess with his baby mom. That has nothing to do with nothing.
So
there are a lot of politicians. There are a lot of politicians in Africa that are extremely corrupt that America has sanctioned, that America plays with, that America,
U.S. doesn't care who's corrupt and who's not.
So what does the corruption have to do with it?
The corruption has a lot to do with it. If you couldn't afford to paint your house before you got in the office, and now all of a sudden you're building mansions everywhere, you best believe the U.S. going to look into that.
No, they're
Okay,
not.
so why is the
No,
U.S. government are doing the
no.
same
This
thing to
guy,
other
Oh, y'all high?
politicians that
like
they
that.
Hold on,
can't
hold
do
on,
that?
Viceroy. I gotta interject.
Go
Damn,
ahead.
but Barack Obama didn't have shit before he became president. Look at him now. The dude's living in him and his wife. They're living in Martha's Vineyard. Dude is
Yeah, but
he's worth over $100 million.
right, Donis,
Probably more than that.
if you right. So if you notice, Barack Obama, he made all that money when he left out of office. He made all that money on speaking engagements. He made all that money doing other shit. He wasn't in office when he started running it up, is what I'm saying. You can't argue that.
There's no
Like,
politics.
That's amazing how a
That is
Liberian
true.
thinks like
you
that.
can't argue that.
True.
So you saying
So
U.S.
there's no
cares
corruption in
about
American politics at all.
I'm not saying, yo, how long have y'all been watching this stream? When Dynasty,
So how are
is this
you
not true?
sure?
No,
How are you sure where Obama got his
bro.
money
Listen,
from?
listen to what I'm saying. Dynasty, is this not true? Did I not say there is corruption everywhere, in every country, in every government? Did I not say that?
Right.
Thank you.
You don't make a point, bro. You don't make a valid point. I'm just letting you know.
I'm saying that my point,
Yeah,
my entire point to this diatribe is the government corruption had gotten so bad in Liberia with those 3 individuals that the U.S. government had to step foot. They had to come in, and that's my entire point. There's corruption. There's government corruption every country, every corner of this earth. That's nothing new. But when you're in a poor country like Liberia and you have a bunch of shit, and you're supposed to be living on a government employee's salary, and you have a bunch of shit you can't explain for, you're gonna get sanctioned. Point blank. Period. That's my entire point.
You just got over the top, huh?
Exactly.
So what happens when America sanctions legitimate, politicians?
They seize your bank account. They seize your bank account in America. You can't. They seize anything in your name in America. They freeze it.
I'm saying, like, what about the politicians in Africa who are not corrupt or, or legitimate, who get sanctioned, or what do you call it? Who gets sanctioned by America?
Wait, I'm sorry. What was that question?
You gotta give examples.
What about the legitimate politicians in Africa who get sanctioned by America?
Name one.
Sankara.
Thomas Sankara.
Lumumba was assassinated.
Those are the last 2 that you could name in the 50s and 60s.
I mean,
so there's no other ones. Gaddafi. What about Gaddafi?
You don't think Gaddafi was? Come on. You don't think Gaddafi was a little bit corrupt?
What about him? Come on.
They got rid of Gaddafi because he wouldn't play ball. He was playing with fire. To be honest with you,
that's what I'm saying. Corruption has little.
Hold on 1 second, guys. If you guys were saying I was hating on Obama, I apologize, because I remember, in fact, my brother Complex is in the chat room. We drove by his Fat Complex. You were Chicago. Where was Obama living in Hyde Park before he became president?
Probably not.
Yeah,
Obama got
he was.
And all that stuff, like you said.
He was okay. So let me.
That we rolled past is where he lived.
Yeah. See, I didn't know if he had that house while he was president or before he was president. But guys, so I apologize. I am not pocket watching Barack Obama. I'm just saying that, and you're right. Barack Obama did amass his wealth after he became he was done with his presidential term. So okay, go ahead.
Did George Weah,
the president in my country. The president of my country of Cameroon has been president for like 30 plus years. And the Western countries love him. Like they love his politics and how he's running the country. He's never gets sanctioned. He never has a problem with the West. They embrace him when he goes, over there. And then they talk about democracy and, free will and everything in the media. So I'm saying, like, corruption has little to do with how American or foreign governments that want influence in your country. It has little to do how they treat your politicians.
I agree with you 1,000%.
What about power?
Wait, let me ask this one question, right? Let me ask this one question. You say he's been in power over 30 years. Was his corruption blatant, or was it over time?
Dude, it's so blatant. It's so blatant. How could you be president for 30 years and you win every single election? And there's been 2 wars in the country where France has helped them, helped them keep power. There's a war happening right now where France is funding the army, and trying to keep the president in power, and have his son take over after him. So it's open corruption, and everybody knows about it. But France, for the time being, and America behind France, because of the fact that Paul Biya is helping them, with policies in Cameroon, and giving them aid and whatnot, with resources, they like him, keeping him there. So it has nothing to do with corruption.
Mugabe was a hero to the West, so he started speaking against him. Now he's this dictator, and he's this and that. Come on, bro. If you don't play ball,
I mean,
this is how it goes.
Yeah, and this isn't to like chastise or make America look bad or like demonize them, because at the end of the day, they're looking after their interests. And
1000%,
if they have to step over a
100,000%.
few Africans for it, then so be it. But the Africans, naive as hell, filled with Western propaganda, they think they're there for their benefit.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question, panel. Y'all ever studied the history of government or read the book, The Prince?
Is that about Machiavelli?
Your mic is messed up, man.
And The Wealth of Nations is another book
by Adam Smith.
If y'all read those things, it'll tell you that every modern government comes and was birthed in corruption. So everybody keeps saying corruption, but honestly, the word government pretty much means corruption.
Corruption, yeah.
So explain the history of a king that was a monarch that had all the money, took all the money from every nation, and then he made a government, and then he made everybody else make government, and then they get Germany and Turkey and a few people go to war with each other over making the governments of what created the governments of Africa, the modern government. I'm not talking about local government, not talking about the chieftaincies, but let's just pay attention to history, because all y'all right. So you're arguing rights in a circle. All of you all are right, but put it all together. Where did these presidents go to school? What were these presidents trained?
In the West.
In the West.
In the West, yes.
Why?
Right. Where did they get the money to run the campaign? Nobody knows.
Right. So just look at those things and put all y'all rights together. But what is it going to do for us as a people? Let's say we keep complaining, and the subject, this subject is about Liberia. Now, Ukraine was supposedly a part of the Liberian War for the Diamonds, as well as Sierra Leone. While people are saying, well, Africans should support Ukraine. If you read the notes of the United Nations complaint, and I was there to testify before, at the United Nations, they came to America, people complained, Liberians were there to complain about corruption of the top government officials. People actually complain about these things to the United Nations, so you can go and read about that. So I just want to start with that and get you all, so you all can see one point of unity and look at the history of modern government. Look at where they've gone to school. Look at where Fidel Castro, where did he go to school?
Right.
I don't want to say too much. I know I'm stepping into a landmine. So he went to school in America before they made him an enemy. In life. Y'all let's start looking at these people.
It's like when there's a war in a country, where does the weapons come from? You know, hey, come on, somebody has interest in this war, man. You know, you gotta think about all that stuff. America is not no savior. America is not no Jesus
I understand what you guys saying. I'm not saying America's. I think you guys misconstrue what I'm saying.
You're saying it was just too much.
Right. It was too blatant, especially from from three people who are not the president. There's one thing if you're the president and you could get on the phone with foreign leaders and work something out. You can get on the phone with the president of France. You can get on the phone with maybe the president of America. But if you're running the port in Liberia, that's a great position to have in Liberia, but you're a small fry. You can't be getting too big for your bridges. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so
I'm not saying America is invincible. All I'm saying is that they're going to look out for their interests first.
Of course.
Everybody is.
If it takes controlling politicians in your country, then that's what they're going to have to do.
Who isn't going to look out for your best interests?
Yeah.
That's everyone.
Right.
Yeah, but you made it seem like they would never do something like that.
He made it seem like America is like the savior. Anybody that's corrupt, they're going to check you. And
government corruption in America every day. I'm not saying that.
No, I got your
well,
point. You
that was my point.
I hear you.
That was my point. But y'all act like America doesn't have corruption. And I'm sitting in Illinois, the capital seat. I don't know how many governors and aldermen have been arrested in Illinois, but it's the capital, and this is like going on.
The difference between the corruption in America and the corruption in Liberia is the corruption in America, it has different levels to it. You could hide money here. You could bribe a politician here. You could hide it for as long as you can hide it. In Liberia, everything, they don't even care to hide it.
They don't even care. The police will ask you for bribes.
Exactly. Exactly. That's my thing.
Y'all under the impression that Liberia is a poor country. I heard somebody on the panel say these poor African countries. Where they poor at? All the money come from there. Where did Elon Musk get his money from, y'all?
Elon Musk.
He was born and raised in South Africa. Yeah, but I wouldn't use that as like.
What are some of the things South Africans are saying where his money came from?
Bloomberg
listen,
a lot of his money
brother Complex. Listen, Elon Musk's grandfather was in America before he moved to South Africa. So their family always had money. It's not.
Why did he move to South Africa? Why would you move there?
Their grandfather, Elon Musk. It wasn't the mine. They started mines later on. It wasn't the mines. Elon Musk's Elon Musk's grandfather.
Let him explain.
No, definitely that's where they got most of their wealth from. I'm not
exactly. So,
but what I'm saying, they didn't know about the mines when they were moving to Africa, South Africa. What I'm saying is,
what rich man don't know what money is? What do y'all think?
No, let the man finish, man. Elon Musk, go ahead.
Thank you. Elon Musk's grandfather there was a moral or some sort of spiritual dispute with the U.S. government. That's why they moved to South Africa. And then later on, because the emerald mines you're talking about in South Africa, his father mainly started and ran that. His grandfather was into like aviation and like an explorer and shit. He didn't really. They're not that like that's not. They've been had money. The emerald mines only expanded their wealth tremendously, but expanded their wealth. But they've been had money.
I think that's besides the point that Compton's making. It doesn't matter why they moved there. The point is they use the resources there to gain their wealth.
Thank you.
Or added wealth. Maybe they had money before. Everybody had money before.
Can I help you with what you're saying? What Jay was saying. Jay was saying they all had money already. Every president of the United States has had money. The poorest president of the United States is James K. Polk. He had $2 million. They consider him the poorest president because he has the least money. So why are all these rich people always funding government? Ask yourself that. Name me a poor president in America.
I mean, what's the point?
I'll wait.
What does that
mean? The point is, rich people with money go and take more money. And see, you kind of talking sarcastic. I'm gonna have to put you in your place of education, because that's what I do. I got degrees, and I've been in the streets, and I've been in the UN. You kind of pushing your luck, bro. So I was being nice about it. Now here we go. Every president has been rich. Rich people go around the world getting more richer. Why are you sitting here talking like they just sitting there rich and they don't want to get more money? They don't know where the money is. They don't know where the oil is. Who do you think is doing all this?
I actually
don't interrupt.
What does every president being rich have to do with Elon Musk and his family? Elon Musk's family was never president.
I'm asking what it has to do with it. You're acting like people who already have money don't go and get more money from what you would call a poor country. Now, why is Africa poor? Because somebody rich keeps taking from them. Come on now.
It's not a poor country.
Right. I know it's not a poor country, but somebody's in control of their wealth, and it's not them. Isn't that the point some of you all are making?
100,000%. Africa doesn't control its wealth.
Hold on, let's pass it. Will Bone, unmute yourself.
Hello. You hear me?
Will.
Yeah.
Will.
Hold on,
I can barely hear you.
Will Bone, unmute yourself.
And you got the background playing. The Will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man.
All right. Yeah. All right, guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. Also, link is in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you are more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. Please click the link and please click that like button Hey, Freddie Cougar, go ahead and call in, Freddie Cougar. Nightmare on Elm. Shout out to Nightmare on Elm Street, who's in the chat room. Like Nightmare on Elm Street, who was in the chat room. Shout out to him. All right, go ahead. No, we got Sankara Patrice Bishop. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had to get off for a minute. Yeah, I saw a comment. Was there something? Was there an issue, Dynast, that you had with a comment I made in the chat?
No, what comment did you make?
No, I mean just in general. I didn't know. No,
what happened?
Oh, okay. No, I guess nothing. Yeah, so let me ask you guys something. Because I had said a lot of people on the panel are moving very goofy. Wasn't talking about you, Dynast, but it's sounding like no one is really willing to talk about the colonialist aspect or the white supremacist aspect as far as the reason for being the corruption of Africa that it is. Why, there's corruption because of that. There's not corruption because Africans are just innately stupid and don't know how to manage money or greedy.
So let me ask you this: Do you think white people taught African people corruption? You don't think that some people are just naturally selfish and will be corrupt regardless? Like it doesn't have anything to do with white supremacy. Some people just want more. Some people are just selfish.
Okay, this is kind of what I mean. It's sort of like you guys are sounding like you are defending white supremacy.
I'm not defending anything. I'm talking about human nature. People are selfish. People are really selfish. Some people are just corrupt in general. It has nothing to do with white supremacy. If you have more than me, I want to get more than you. That's just the nature of man. It has nothing to do with white supremacy. I'm not defending anything, but people are just corrupt by nature. People are selfish by nature. It has nothing to do with any influence or anything like that. We want more. We want the most women. We want the most money. We just want more.
I see. So why is it that the African is not in the controlling end on any nation on the continent?
You'd have to ask the African that.
Well, what do you think?
I think the African wasn't prepared for when the Europeans came. I think they were overwhelmed and they were subjugated.
Okay. And are they still subjugated?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So again, that is the reason for the corruption.
To a certain extent.
Isn't that why it's corrupt?
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I think most people, as far as humans go, most people are corruptible, but you need a strong system in place that deals with said corruption. And a lot of African countries don't have strong government systems.
I 100% agree. 100% agree.
You said they don't have strong governments?
Yeah, they don't have strong government systems
in place.
With checks and balances.
In place.
Yeah.
They don't.
Sankara.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for your comment. May I say, do you now understand why I broke down the history of nations being built, why I brought up the wealth of nations, why I brought up who made these nations, who carved these boundaries out for these nations? You can correlate that, right?
Well, the European all these nations have been carved out and divided up by the European.
Right. So does that go along with what you're saying about supremacy and corruption being a historical thing?
Yes. Okay.
And that's why I brought those points up, to try to show them that this thing is historical, that these people going to school in America was on purpose. Some of the ones that went to school. I don't want to ask questions about some of them because I go to their countries. But if you just ask yourself, where did the president go to college or go to military training? Somebody already answered it. And somebody on the panel saying that the white folks had nothing to do with it and that their money had nothing to do with it. And I'm like, that's crazy. They have an interest in the world. Gentrification is not just happening in cities. It's not just local. It is a worldwide thing.
Right. Absolutely. And the thing is, if you're even brilliant enough to get past the electoral system and be in a position in Africa to be elected as any type of leader, and be pro-African interests, you're going to be a threat to foreign interests. So you're not going to get elected unless you're pro-foreign interests. That's why all of the leaders in Africa are pro-foreign interests. They cannot be pro-Africa interests, or they'll get Lumumba or Sankara. That's the problem in Africa right now. And that's what needs to be dealt with. And when that ends, the corruption will end. Do y'all agree?
I just want to ask you one question, right? So
go ahead. That's a question.
I just, how will the corruption end when you have these government ministers, these representatives who are basically living high off the hog? They don't have to do much. They're driving around in $100,000 cars. They have 20 plus girlfriends around town, and they're making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. How is the corruption going to end?
If the foreign interests left Africa today, all that money will dry up, and the people will be able to stand up and out all of those leaders themselves.
Do you think that
and take over their own governments back?
My question more so, I should have made this clear. Do you think that that thirst or since they tasted what that life is like, do you think that in their minds all of a sudden just going to dissipate, or do you think they're going to do everything in their power to keep up?
No, I think they're scumbags. I don't know. I think they're scumbags and going to stay scumbags. But the thing is, they won't have anything feeding that hunger, because the foreign interests will not be a factor anymore. If they're not a factor, they have nothing to pay them with, and the people will have enough power to overthrow them themselves.
Even with that, even all the money that they've made through that foreign power, don't you think they started businesses that they're running in the country, that they're doing things in the country that they could live off of, even if their government? So the need for the corruption is not going to end, because the human appetite is there for it, is what I'm saying. These guys are used to living a certain way. They're going to want to continue that lifestyle regardless, and they're going to kill, steal, do whatever they can to continue that lifestyle. And that's
I agree. But the people, the vast majority of the people that want to do a better, that want to live in a better way of life, or whatever you want to call it, they have a better chance of having more pull in the politics of that society if those few people that are running the country do not have any more power. Everybody's not like those people, but they're just in power.
Yeah, but
the vast majority of people are just trying to work and get by and survive. If those people had a say in the government and a say in society, then these countries would not be that corrupt.
But what if you have most people voting for the corrupt leaders, like you do in Liberia?
They don't have a choice in voting for anybody but a corrupt leader, because they're not given the chance to vote for somebody uncorrupt.
Why? There's an entire election.
Yes.
What do you mean? So how are you not giving
financed by? Yes. If there was somebody that was pro-African,
every single person that's running in that election is financing their own campaign. They're not getting financed from the U. There's no you seem to think that there's a U.S. Puppet in place that the U.S. is financing to just get them elected and keep this subjugation. That's not the case. Anybody in Liberia, I'm not speaking for any other country, in Liberia, the people who are running for office, they come out with that money themselves out of pocket, whether it's through the Lebanese or it's through a loan, whatever. They run them campaigns themselves. If they
did you hear what you just said?
What
you said? Whether it's through the what?
Through the what? Lebanese? Because the Lebanese sponsor a bunch of, because they're business people.
Sponsor.
I'm not talking about.
There you go.
That's
sponsor.
different from the government.
Good word there. Sponsor.
That's different from the government. That's not some.
I agree.
That's
but because of those sponsors, they have the money to run because they're sponsored.
Come on,
you're
bro.
absolutely right.
Come on, bro.
There
are Liberian politicians who have their own money that don't have to go to the Lebanese. So what about them?
You said it correct. These guys are still sponsored by foreign interests.
How? Who's sponsoring?
Let's move to like the next topic, man. We're gonna go back and forth on Liberia all day. Hey, Complex, what are your thoughts on like this diaspora beef in Africa that's online? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
What you mean, the FBA stuff?
No. Just returnees moving to Africa who are beefing in Africa.
I mean, you know, as Ibarra O said, and a lot of other people, Black Lion and a few others, and the doctor. I mean, it's the mindset. I mean, it's the same thing that Sankara was just talking about. People in America with this supremacist complex for black faces coming over to Africa with the same mind of the people that oppress them. It's what's the syndrome called when you love your enemy? You want to beat them so bad. Not Klinefelter syndrome. What's the other one called?
Stockholm.
Stockholm. Thank you. So it's Stockholm syndrome, bro.
Anybody else want to add to that?
I'm not too familiar with the diaspora beef going on in Africa. Could somebody fill me in?
Can you fill me in, Danny?
Yeah, I mean, there are just a number of different, individuals and groups who have relocated to Africa, and they're beefing with other diasporas in Africa.
So the same thing they're doing in the U.S., pretty much?
Pretty much, yeah. That's exactly it, really. Okay. Dinah, you know I wrote a book. It's on Amazon.com. It's called American in a Sense. And the book is about just this subject, like how we're American in a sense, how we are mini capitalists, how we act like the historical American, how we act like the historical slaveholder, how we want to act like the historical rich guy that's taking over different countries and taking different resources. It's black folks acting just like that. And then arguing with Africans about their resources like they the white man. That's exactly what's happening. And they do it here in America. They argue over resources. They call them blocks theirs that's not there. Then they get gentrified. And then what they say, you did all this for this block. You did all this for the fam. You did all this for the blood. You did all this for the folks. But when they come take it, it's gone.
I think that's a horrible example. I think it's horrible. Really. It is, because you're talking about street violence. You're talking about guys who don't put up any money to buy anything in their neighborhood. They terrorize their neighborhoods for the most part, do a bunch of crime. And then when people come in and move in and you see a bunch of white people, it's like, oh, it's gentrified now. It's like, but what do you expect? Like, y'all don't own anything here. You didn't put up no money for nothing. You are bringing crime in the neighborhood, selling drugs. Then when it gets gentrified, a bunch of people want to complain. It's like, what do you expect?
Hey, bro, you didn't come outside then. So them guys you're talking about, I was one of them. That's what my book is about. Then we found out people in our leadership, just like people who get voted and elected in other countries, people who were leading us was working for the feds, bro. So what are you talking about? Even Rick Ross was on Dinah's show not long ago. Rick Ross told you. Come on with it.
So who in your neighborhood is working for the feds?
Man, you working for the feds, because I ain't about to tell you that, dude. I just said what
you just
book.
said it. You the one who
brought
it up, bro.
Buy my book,
You're
American.
A bunch of people in the hood work for the feds.
Buy my book, but I don't have to say names. I ain't say names in the book. You just look it up, though. If you came outside, you wouldn't know who ran the
block. How would I
block.
look it up if I don't know?
You know who got the money. You know who got the cars. And you said they don't own in the neighborhood. How about they own much? They the only ones that own in the neighborhood, other than the.
So why are they getting gentrified?
Okay, again. So my community is 40% white now. It used to be 100% black. It is 40% white now. I happen to be running for office right there. So most of the owners that's left from the old neighborhood are those guys that used to be them guys in charge. Some of them still have those backgrounds and work for the people and was put there. Some of them work for the politicians, and it is the facts. And that's why I lace it out in the book so you can see the same way they do overseas, they do here. The same way that we are torn apart with each other, arguing with each other, FBA versus Africa, hood dude versus non-hood dude. Most of the people be talking, don't know who owns stuff, but they don't own enough themselves to know who owns something, who right next door to them. So if you check them out, maybe you'll find that out.
Bro, what's the name of your book? I'm going to buy it just to read this.
American in a Sense.
American in a Sense?
Yep, in a sense.
In
it's a play on words. American in a sense.
In a sense.
Yep, okay. It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon?
Yeah, so I broke down the drug trade, broke down who people work for. I broke down remembering where the guns came from, the police. And this was on the news, bro. This is in media. Other people wrote books about this.
All right, I see it on Amazon, and you're a gardener, right?
Yep.
All right, brother. I'll tell you what. I don't agree with everything you said, but I'll definitely purchase this book just to support you.
I appreciate you, bro. Just give it a chance, man.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't want to sit on this panel and fight with you when how about they say, Dynasty, when two brothers fight, somebody else taking their land.
Yep.
So I don't got time to fight with you. I got time to fight the fight. And
I think, brother, I would definitely purchase this book. Definitely try to see your point of view in a more structured form. I know you can't get everything you want to get out on a panel, but I definitely will check out that book. Support you, brother. Absolutely. I don't agree with everything you say, but I definitely will support you.
I think some of these diaspora wars some of them are driven by YouTube revenue, because a lot of these bloggers or vloggers, whatever you want to call them, are using drama to build up views on their
listen,
page.
Alex, you have a great point. So there was a YouTuber who called out another YouTuber for allegedly taking her boyfriend. So I'm on this YouTuber's Facebook page. I noticed a post that she made, and then the YouTuber that she accused of taking a boyfriend responded to her post, and they were both kicking and clack. They were both laughing together. So you got a point.
I know who you're talking about, Dynasty. I know that.
Yeah. I noticed that. I was like, oh man.
I know what you're talking about.
For a big example is the Negro PN YouTube page. Like, that page is just full of drama and like diaspora negativity and stuff like that, and he's making a lot of money off of it. So
right.
And I think that's a big reason why.
I used to live in the Bronx, dude, and these drug dealers used to stand in the corner morning to night and sell drugs all day. And I'm like, dude, I don't have to be the biggest detective to know who the drug dealer is. How come the police just don't come here and just get rid of these people? I always used to wonder that.
I just told you, they work with them.
They work with them. They go to jail and they come back in a week. They go to jail and they come back in 2 weeks. They like,
bro,
how come you
they work
Out
together.
of jail?
I don't think it's that easy.
They work together. That's why they don't take them out.
They don't take a genius to know who's selling
Considering
the drugs.
Considering you need to build evidence first for your case to be strong in court.
Dude,
it's not like something
that
can be done instantly.
They got all the crack in their drawers. They got it all in their mouth. All you have to do is just walk up to one of these dudes, and I'm telling you, the drug dealers is so obvious who's selling it, but they don't want to do anything about it. And the neighborhood gets keep getting ruined, and the young kids that are growing up, they kind of want to beat these guys, and then they pick them up, they give them a little something. Yo, you want to eat? They just ask me all the time, yo, you want to eat? You want to eat? Especially on the first of the month. Yo, you want to eat? You know? I'm like, nah, man, I'm good, man. But the little dudes that ain't have much, that's what they do, and then it's a system. And the neighborhood keeps going down and down, and before you know it, they kick them all out. And they move some white people in there.
You seen that show Snowfall?
I saw a little part of it.
Dinah, you seen Snowfall?
I have, yes.
Isn't the story telling the story of how they working with certain government operatives out of the north? It's sitting right there.
Cool.
Right.
America. It's not coincidence, bro.
So what makes people think that happens here, but it don't happen overseas at the same time, to bring all Dinah's point back together? And then the African Americans going over there with the same mindset, having these arguments. And then the show The Shy just had a show about this last night, Dinah, what you just talked about with the two YouTubers arguing. D-Ray, the comedian, was on The Shy last night. He was this guru guy that's on YouTube, and he was telling people to be celibate. He walks in the restaurant with his woman, and dude that was following them and was trying to change his life based on his YouTube information, bust him out like, man, you got a girl the whole time, and you telling us to be celibate? And D-Ray explained to him, man, that's for the YouTube views. So it was exactly just last night, man. Y'all on point. Y'all on point with what y'all saying. So the diaspora and me going over there with that mess, it's making us look bad, man. So
we was fighting about
running from America, but you're bringing America with you. That's crazy. The only thing I'm gonna take over there from America that I learned from is capitalist business, the way they do business, how to do business, but still do charity. Along with that, they still build Africa. So that's the only thing I want to take from them. I can't take their family structure over to Africa when Africa has a better family structure. You can't take their family structure over there.
That's what we need from y'all. That's what we need from African Americans, man. Instead of complaining, go learn some quality skills and bring it back to the motherland. That's really point blank all we need from African Americans. Learn the quality skills from these white people and bring it back to the motherland, man, and teach us how to do it.
If that's the one thing you're gonna take, that's it. How to make that money like they do, that's it. Other than that, get rid of the rest of it. What you bringing a white Jesus to Black Africa for? Like, what's that gonna do for you? What's that gonna do for Africa? What's that image you're gonna do? You gonna use white Jesus to sell face lightning cream? They gonna use a picture of white Jesus to sell weave? What's gonna happen?
I tell my mama.
Kacha Zulu, go ahead, Kacha Zulu. Unmute yourself.
Peace and love to everybody in the chat. How you doing, Dynast?
Oh man, doing good, bro. Go ahead.
Now I hear these brothers, bro, and I think two things can be right at the same time. I think what that brother's saying is correct. There is a lot of corruption that goes on in Africa. However, by that same note, there's a lot of corruption that goes on everywhere else. So we can't be blaming corruption as to why Africa's in the situation that it's in. We got to come up with an alternative method.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I brought that up when we first went live. There's corruption everywhere, guys. With that being said, listen, if you are corrupt, please use some of that corruption money and buy my documentary. Okay, go to searchforuhuru.com. Go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. Again, go to searchforuhuru.com. Searchforuhuru.com. And buy the documentary, you guys. Okay. If you have not bought it, I need you to go and buy it, family. All right, go ahead.
Kacha Zulu, you still got it?
Oh yeah, I said what I had to say, bro. Y'all can continue where y'all was at. I was entertained by that.
Entertained. We ain't learned nothing, just entertainment. No edutainment.
Man, he was making.
I mean, it ain't nothing that I don't already know. Like we sitting here saying the same things that we've been saying for the last 10 years.
All right. So what do we do about it then? Go ahead. What do we do about it?
Honestly, as black people,
Dynast is moving. Like people moving, bro. People actually putting the action behind it, bro. It's just, you do got a lot of detractors on the internet, and we just gotta put the action behind it. That's all, man.
Black people need a strong leader, man. We need a strong leader that if they tell us to move left, we all move left. If that leader tells us to move right, we all move right.
The thing is, we don't need no leader either, bro. Like,
you don't think so? Tell me what we need.
Bro, because like we need leadership. Don't get me wrong, we need leadership, but we don't need no one person to sit there and, hey, you niggas do this, and that's too easy for them to come and take that leader out. Now that we just looking shitless, like, oh, what we gonna do? They took our leader out, like we need leadership. Don't get me wrong, but not no leader.
As COINTELPRO has shown you, COINTELPRO book and the COINTELPRO papers have already shown you that when there's a so-called messiah or one leader, they've taken them out. They've admitted to it. They've actually given these people money in the midst of murdering and assassinating black leadership on purpose. And that's not just America, that's across the world. Yep. So I'm trying to be up here and not be assassinated. So
let's pass to the easy band.
No,
go ahead, easy band.
You gotta be ready to die for what you believe in.
Go ahead, easy. Go ahead, easy band.
Always.
Go ahead, easy.
What's poppin', fam? Salute. Appreciate you letting me on your panel, bro. This was a very good conversation that you're having today. The one thing I just want to add on, like, a few guys on the panel already just like hit the nail on the head, man. Shout out to, is it Complex? Shout out to him. Shout out to the Sankara dude. These guys basically broke it down. You feel me? Like, what I just want to add is that when some of these guys come on the panel, man, if dude doesn't like have any knowledge or education on how imperialism works, like these guys shouldn't even be on the panel talking, fam. Like real talk, because it just like downgrades the whole argument. We're just talking about things that don't make any sense, because it's almost like we pointing fingers at each other when we read in the history books that, you know, the whole plan is divide and conquer, and that's what they're doing right now, and we still perpetuating that, even though we read the history books, man. So that's all I really wanted to add. Appreciate you letting me on your panel, bro.
Hey, salute to you too, Easy Man.
Salute. Respects.
Peace.
So, Dynas, one of them asked on the panel, somebody said, I don't know if it was Alex or Jay, somebody said, what's the solution? We just talking. If y'all didn't catch it, I gave a solution. Change your mindset, man. Change your spirituality back to an African one. Change your family back to an African family, man. Like, they got a better family structure than you have. The marriage rate in here sucks, but the marriage rate over there is better. Why are you not copying their way? And why you want to, why does everybody want to still just do a failing way? Like, why would you take a failing example to lead your life back? That's the question.
Yep, it's part of the system, man. That's the part of the new system that they put on us to divide and conquer, right? We used to have extended families, etc., bro, where nobody in the community was like, like homeless or etc. You'd always have a place. You'd belong to a clan or a family or some sort of like structure in Africa. But this is what it is, man. It's divide and conquer. And I think the people that's really running the world right now are liberals, fam. So that's a whole nother conversation. But
But
yeah,
black people,
bro.
we don't like each other, man. I'm African, man. I go in a Black American community. They hate me, like they don't even respect me. They see me in themselves, and they don't like it.
Where you from, Jay? Where you from, bro?
I'm from Ghana.
It's the same. Okay, where do you live at?
Fine. I live in Michigan right now, but I grew up in New York City.
Gotcha.
Right. They hate me, bro. They don't want me. They don't want me part of them. They don't want. They like, ew, look at that African dude. Look at that African nigga.
Bro, like, it's not. But Jay, they don't hate you, bro. Listen, we talk about each other like that, bro. So you just like we'll talk about the light skin on the block equally, like we'll talk about the darkest nigga on the block, bro. So
I know, bro. It's different. It's jokes, and then there's that. They don't even want you involved in anything that they do. You know what I mean? They look at themselves as separate. They look at themselves as, Americans have been here for 500. I mean, Black Americans have been here for years, so they got a little bit of a mixture in them. A little bit. We kind of sometimes resemble, and sometimes we look different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my whole life, bro, they kind of like treated me like I'm not part of them. In a sense, I almost kind of hated them till I started working with white people. I swear to God, it's real stuff.
Yeah, Jay. Okay, bro.
Like, let me tell you my experience. I hated Black Americans, bro.
I think you still do, bro.
You said what?
I think you still do, bro.
Let me finish though. Y'all like, you making jokes out of stuff. I'm being serious here, bro. Like, I hated them with a passion, bro. Till I started working with white America, then I kind of understood the whole system and the source of all this thing. So whenever like I'm working with another Black person and wherever I work at, I try to show love and I try to show support. Even though I know this motherfucker is probably trying to, but to me, it's a bigger picture that you got to follow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, fam, like, you can't take none of that stuff personal, man. For me, it's like people are people everywhere. You're going to meet African Americans that's cool as fuck, you know what I'm saying? And you might even meet Africans that you don't even get along with type shit, you know what I'm saying? So
like Africans call us Oberni when you go to Ghana. They'll call us Oberni. I'm not no white man, bro. Like but I get it. I completely understand, bro. So
bro,
it's just
a lot of people say Africans don't like us, but it's not like we don't like y'all, man. y'all don't accept us. Y'all treat us like shit sometimes. You know what I
Yo,
mean?
Jay,
That's all
take
I'm
this in,
saying.
bro. Like when I was a
Yeah.
kid, man, we traveled a lot, right? So I couldn't really speak my language. So when I went back home to Africa and stuff, I ended up, you know what I mean? I ended up moving with my, you know, my peeps split up or whatever. I moved with my mom to like a lower class area and shit. And those kids over there used to call me white man type shit, you know what I'm saying? So like I never took it personal. If anything, I just like they just learned to respect me, bro, because I was doing everything they was doing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, white man is not really something. You know,
I mean,
nothing
like, yo,
crazy though.
if I was like a snowflake, if I was sensitive, I could have had that grudge and said, "Oh, these Africans, blah blah blah." You know what I'm saying? But I just never took it personal.
No,
I
but
was
that's
just
not
out there.
something I'm talking about. I went through some crazy teasing, my nigga. Some crazy teasing to the point that I almost hated African Americans. You know what I mean? They kind of look at you like they're better than you. They treat you like you from Africa and you live in
Now
trees or something.
Imagine running around your own homies, like your own people, and they calling you a white man, and you black too. You like you African too, fam, man. And you know what I'm saying? They calling you a white man just because you can't speak the language. You know what I'm saying? So if you like I'm saying, if I was like I'm not calling you a snowflake, but I'm just saying if I wanted to, I could have like looked at it that way. But then I just decided to like, you know what I mean, just be part of the homies type shit. And at the end of the day, they ended up accepting me. And you find this happening in a lot
it
of black
usually is
communities.
like that too. It's
Yeah.
usually like that. If you take that ridicule and you like comment back to a couple of people, eventually we'll come around like, okay, this
Bro,
nigga, hold on, he cool, he
Listen,
cool. Hold
I
on.
was in the trenches. I was fighting with them, bro.
Jay,
I've
did
been
you
here
go to high
25
school here
years,
in
man.
America?
I done learned the link. Yeah, I came in when I was 12, 13 years old. I learned the lingo. I picked up quick. I put the first gear on. I picked up the lingo and all that stuff.
Right.
Eventually, I fought a couple of people. I had to earn my respect and all that. But I'm just telling you where it comes from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you though.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jay,
that's
did you
all
go
I'm
to high
saying.
school in America?
I went to middle school in America. I went to middle school to high school. Yeah.
Did you had a bad time in high school?
Oh, nah. By the time I got to high school,
as being an African.
by the time I got to high school, I done picked it up. You say something to me, I'm slapping you in the face. Straight up. You know what I mean? By the time I got to high school, I started in middle school. Middle school's where I got picked on a lot. In high school, they tried, but, my knuckle game is crazy. So after that,
Bro,
they let
everybody
you know.
get picked on in middle school, bro. People used to talk about my gap all the time.
I know what
I
you
was
mean,
nicknamed
but
Jay.
it's
Jay
different,
nickname is
bro.
Knuckles. Jay nickname is Knuckles, Joe. Hey, Knuckles.
I'm just
So
saying,
I
though,
have,
bro.
hey, Knuckles, I got
My
a
little
girlfriend.
brother went through the same thing, bro. The dude was scared to even like speak or open his voice because of his accent. They'll make fun of him, and stuff like that. I'm not saying kids are mean naturally, but I'm just saying it's not just the kids either. It's the adults too. They don't involve us in anything. They look at Africans as like, even as a grown up,
Bro, that's not true, Jay. That's not
Yeah,
true,
your life
bro.
is different, man.
I'm just telling you my
I look at,
experience, cuz.
I
I look at
understand
New
this may
York.
be
New York,
your
they get along.
yeah, I understand this may be your experience, bro, but that's not how it is everywhere, brother.
No, not every African American is like that. I'm just telling you my experience. I guess I got older. Like I said, I picked up the lingo, and I can get in the mix. But growing up, a lot of us Africans, we went through that, bro. We went through the teasing, we went through the, and all different. And
But
the thing is,
that's what they said. Everybody went through that. That's the
They
thing.
talk about my gap all the time. My gap is Africa.
Man, we get roasted Chicago roast on a regular basis. You don't know how to roast.
I'm in Chicago, bro.
Right, we roast all day, every day.
Exactly, bro.
Yo, Kasha, no cap, fam. We
And
got
we
that
good
gap
at
in my family too, bro.
And
Oh
we good
yeah, I
at
get it from my mama. I get it from my mama, bro. This a status symbol in West Africa.
Americans don't
Here's the
like
thing,
us.
Jay.
I don't know.
Hey, Jay.
My experience.
In my experience, I got an ex-girlfriend that's Igbo, beautiful woman. She's Igbo. We broke up pretty much because no offense to the Ados, but their mindset got to her in college. And she like, my friends is telling me about Lil' Kim and them, and we want to, that life is supposed to be so exciting, and the hip hop life, and I just been with one other guy than you, and crap like that. Man, the mindset got to her, and I was like, man, This is crazy. She's a beautiful woman, not just by looks. She's a
I
beautiful
love
soul.
that gap tooth, man. That's my shit.
She's a beautiful soul. So Jay, Dinah's probably dated somebody African. I ain't gonna put him out there. But you know what I'm saying? You saying it, Jay, like it seemed like it's hatred, but I got African friends. I've been to a Ghanaian wedding with
Hey, bro, my wife is Ghanaian.
Open-minded, man. Some people are open-minded, man.
My wife is Ghanaian,
I'm
bro.
from the projects, though, Jay. I didn't have the room for open-minded at first. I had mentors. I had mentors and experiences that helped me.
I'm sure I'm not the only
African. I took out to the Million Man March. That helped me. We went to the Million Man March. It took a lot, man. It took 7 organizations, non-profits, to help one little project me change my way of thinking and change my life. It took those mentors. And I'm really, Jay, I'm trying to talk to you about like healing. You know what I'm saying? Like real healing. Because right now you got a moment for real healing. You got a whole panel who has a chance at real healing. Because somebody just said we just talk about stuff, don't do nothing about it. And I was just talking to you about the fact it wasn't open-minded. I went to the Bonsu wedding, and I want to explain this to y'all, man. I ain't never seen a wedding like somebody's online. This man was online to get this wife. Like, what I mean online is being in a Greek letter organization and being a Freemason. I'm like, you going through a process, man. Like, y'all weddings are beautiful, man. Like,
you're open-minded enough to learn it, bro. A lot of Africans agree with me when what I'm saying, bro. They don't like us. They don't include us in anything. Of course, I'm from Africa. I don't get the lingo, and I have a lot to teach Black America too. But they don't even open up to even learn what I have to teach. They didn't involve us in a lot of things, and that's why.
So that's what I'm trying to do, Jay. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get you to share your experience. Right now, you have an audience where you can share it, though. I'm talking about how y'all weddings are in Ghana. How y'all got knocked on the door with the cola nuts and the beers and wait for the uncles and stuff to let y'all in.
I've been to African weddings.
But yo,
bro,
Jay, just look at how beautiful what's going on is right in regards to what you're talking about. You got 3 African Americans on the panel. I'm African like you, but I'm sure Costa, you African American, right?
Yeah, I'm African American, brother.
Complex sounds like he's African American too. I know Dynast, Amir is African American, and they just let you on here with love, fam. They talking to you like anybody else.
Bro,
so that's
I'm
just
not
proof
in my
right there.
village no more, bro.
Hey, Jay, I spoke your mother tongue, brother. Jay, I spoke your mother tongue to you now, man. How much more welcoming can we be?
I'm not in my village now, bro. I done dated African American women. I'm good, bro.
No.
I'm not even growing up as a kid. What I experienced and where sometimes the hateful African Americans come from. They go, they don't like us. They don't like us. They don't know, bro. You don't accept us. I don't learn the lingo.
But who put that out there? Hey, who put it out there that we don't like y'all though? Like who told y'all that we don't like y'all?
Tariq Nasheed, bro.
Tariq.
My mama ain't never said nothing wrong about the African. None of my grandmothers. They all have great things to say about Africa, bro.
Woman, bro. Most of these guys that I grew
up, my grandfathers have great things to say about Africa. They live their life trying to get back to the African way, man. You reading so many books, and seeing movies like Roots, where people are sitting there telling you we trying to get back to our African selves. I'm still
I wish another African would come here and put.
African spirituality.
My mama was Ethiopian Coptic, brother. Like if you walked into our living room when I was a kid, you would have thought you walked into Nubia, black and gold everywhere.
And that's the Bible I read. I read the Coptic Bible before I read the King James version. That's the ones I deal with. And I don't care what religion you are, as long as it's African-centered. You can be African-centered Christian. You can be African-centered Muslim. You can stay African-centered.
Hey, where you from in Chicago, bro?
West Side.
You from out west, bro?
I'm from Hippie Waters and Cabrini Green. 2 North Orange projects. Hey, Jay. And it's people right here in Chicago right now. It's Africans getting killed in Inglewood along with African Americans. Because they riding together.
Too. Like I said,
to add on that, man, in the 1940s,
I done did all that shit. I did all that.
But you did it with African Americans. So how you gonna say we don't like you, but you doing all that with African Americans?
Bro, I had to learn it. I had to do certain things.
You're not getting my
question. Hey, let's hold on. Let's pass it to Moochie T. Then we're gonna close out soon. Go ahead, Moochie.
Oh yes, thanks, Dennis. So first, just quick question for brother Jay. Jay, where are you in Michigan, brother? What city, if you don't mind?
I'm in Taylor, Michigan.
Taylor, okay.
It's like Metro Detroit, something like that.
That's all right. That's cool, brother. You know what? Right. I just want to say my experience is different. I'm in Michigan too, in Lansing.
I grew up in New York City.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Michigan was just
All right, all right. I didn't go to high school here. I went to high school in Africa, but I went to Michigan State, and I lived in Detroit. I've lived in Auburn Hills. I've lived in Lansing. And man,
you came here as a grown up, man. You came here
yeah,
as a grown up.
yeah. But let me just say, because no, look, brother. Let me speak, because you know what? If we say they don't like us, man, we kind of, let's not generalize. Because me, I tell you, I've gotten love from African Americans. I've never experienced any difference from the ones I've interacted with. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I did not live in the hood, so maybe that excluded me from some of the silliness, you know.
Yes, sir.
But
yes, sir.
but for, but for the most part, I've got nothing but love. And then the two things, man, I had
love too right now. I get a lot of love from African Americans, man.
Yeah, still, yeah.
The mature
two things the two things I had on my mind, Diana, man. One, man, I'm mad about what the New York governor is doing, mayor is doing, man. They're putting people up in these hotels, spending a lot of money, and then they turn around. These Republicans are complaining about giving $10,000 to $20,000, like whatever, like credit for student loans. But they're spending so much money on illegal people coming into the country, man. But yet, I mean, that's
liberals doing that. That's Democrats doing that. They're doing the same thing in LA.
Yeah, but
they're not just listen. They're not just keeping them like in a 1-star, 2-star hotel. They're getting 5-star hotel treatment,
which is crazy, Dennis. But look, Dennis. But what I'm saying is, both of them, the Republicans, and yes, I like the Republicans, their stance against illegal immigration, all that. But what I'm saying is this: on the one hand, right, the Democrats are giving all this money to, putting up these people in the hotels and all this, right? But on the other flip side, the Republicans are saying, "Oh, don't help people who need help, who are Americans. How can you put foreigners before men? I wasn't born here, so I expect if there's something to be given to anyone, the native-born Americans should get it first before me. It's just how we should go. And if you go to my country, I would expect to go in line first before you. Well, that's one thing. And then the other thing I wanted just to make a comment about. I had a friend, right? We went to college, we used to work together. I used to say, this guy, man, he looks Nigerian, and one time I remember asking him, I said, hey, man, are you Nigerian? He said, no, man, but you're African American, right? But check this out. One time I was over at his place in Texas, right? We moved out to work in Texas. So, over at his house, and then his uncle came down from Houston, right? His uncle, so he used to play college football, and his uncle, one of his sons, actually played for the Falcons, So anyway, we out at the house, and then you know what the uncle said? He said, hey, do you know, I want to go to Africa so bad. Do you know your friend's dad is Nigerian?
That's hilarious.
Man, yeah, and then, you know what? I just played coy. I was just like, you know what? I don't know. I don't want to like embarrass anything, But I was just, man, my instincts were right. Why was this guy? But I understand his father, I guess, left his mom. His mom is African American. But I could just see from his stature, right? Like, he's a big guy, like 270 pounds. Like, this guy's he's good to have some Nigerian in him. But that was funny how his uncle, kind of let this get out of the bag.
Just to add a similar story, man. I got a homie, man. I got a homie that's Trinidadian, bro. And he was on that, I'm an Arawa Indian type shit, you feel me? And this dude was darker than me. Like, he's darker than everybody on the panel so far type shit. So I'm like, yo, bro, you definitely African, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, I'm Fulani. Next thing you know, fam, he talked to his mom Dukes back in Trinidad, and she's like, yo, we from Benin. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's crazy, man.
Nobody wanted to be African either.
Yeah, people want to be anything but, man. And it's, if you go to Jamaica, you got the Maroons, fam, that's in the hills and the mountains. Those guys, some of them still speak African dialects, man. They still do the same African traditions, etc. But I, just to close out, because I know Dynasty is trying to close out right now, man. Do y'all think that like the whole conversation we having, we at least concluded with some of the people on the panel that imperialism is at fault here? You feel me? Which is obvious, man. It's obvious to anybody that imperialism is at fault, and that's where all the corruption, etc., is coming from. Corruption is just a propaganda, tool that the media uses to point a finger. When we can all see the elephant sitting right in the room, it's the imperialist NATO structures. We got the financial institutes like the IMF, the World Bank, etc. They all work together. The tech companies, the corporations, etc. They all work together right now. We seen that happening with the whole Ukraine situation. We've seen how these guys have power to just sanction the whole country and just even individuals. You know what I'm saying? My question is, are we even going to be able to are we like fighting like a losing like a war, like a losing war, like, you know what I'm saying?
No. Wait a second. One thing is this: yes, imperialism has a lot to blame, right? But we are not powerless. I refuse to create this paradigm where Africans will say, "Oh, we are powerless." Let me give you a quick example. You know, in Mozambique is the one place where they get these gems called rubies. Okay, these red gems called rubies. If you guys know. Now check this out. The rubies, where they are being mined, and they are being sent to Thailand to be graded and sold. Hundreds of millions, billions of dollars over the year and all that, right? But the villages where these rupees are coming from, the people are poor. They're chasing them from the mines, and the people who are benefiting are the white guys who own the Australians or whatever that own the mines. And then in Thailand, okay, why on earth would we be sending rubies from Africa to be traded in Thailand of all places? Can you imagine, right?
Bro.
And it's not just Mozambique. The same too in Zimbabwe. We have platinum, we have gold, and all these things are looted and they're taken to Dubai, they're taken to Belgium, diamonds, and all. I mean, come on, we have a lot. We don't have the way I look at it is this: we don't have confidence in ourselves, right? And even me too, I can say to an extent, all of us, because just think about something, something very simple, right? When you are looking to get a doctor, right? How many of us are even intentional to say, hey, this medical system, oh, this name sounds Nigerian, this name sounds Ethiopian. I want to go with this doctor and not the white doctor or not the Indian doctor. You see what I'm saying? So we are not powerless. It's the decisions that we make.
But this is my point. This is my point, and I agree with you on everything you just said. But this is the thing, man, is that we are also, to an extent, entrenched in the imperialistic world. Like, we also benefit from it. So this is the thing, right? Is that the world that we living in right now would have to seize, right? Like, it would have to like see the hegemony. What's the word? Hegemony. The hegemony. The hierarchy would have to seize, and what I mean by that is the way of life. Like, so, like I said this before, our cell phones, man, we paying like $1,000 for them now. You know what I'm saying? If say Africa was to be developed and, you know, had their own we had our own what do you call it? We're just in charge of our own resources, etc. We had power and trade deals, etc. We had fair trade. If that was the case, bro, we'd be paying like, you know what I'm saying, 20K for a cell phone. You know, so people in the US wouldn't be able to afford to live, right? So it would be like a whole like upheaval. Like the whole world, you know what I mean, it would have to be like some sort of paradigm shift. Now, my point is that
what do you think about the Nigerians? Okay, the Nigerians just banned white people from commercials. I don't know if you guys already discussed this. Okay, but there's something so powerful. You know, it's symbolic, but it's so powerful, right?
Nigerians are making a lot of progress, man.
Because all the kids,
one country I'm very proud of.
Can you imagine? All the kids are gonna look on the television and see people who look like them. So these kids are not.
Well, that means nothing if they can walk up the street in white Jesus.
It means a lot. It means a lot, because you know what? That kid that sees another black woman on the tip is not going to have the need to get skin lightening creams. They say they don't need skin lightening.
What will they do when they see white Jesus 30 feet statue walking up the street?
But listen, you have to acknowledge progress.
It's going to change with time, man.
That's the problem. You know what? You can't just focus on the problems and not acknowledge when people come up with some solutions, right? Because it started in Nigeria. Other African countries are going to be looking at Nigeria and say, hey, hold on a minute. What the hell are we doing here? We're on the African continent. You see? So that changes a way of thinking, man. This brother is talking about imperialism, right? And colonialism. He's right. Because guess what? When the images we see are always white and all this and that, it's not everybody is strong enough to say, hey, this is not how I should be. Do you know in Africa, I won't say in specific countries, there's even men in Africa that use those skin lightening creams. You understand? So the DRC. I won't say countries. No, I don't understand anything.
But I already know.
But all I'm saying is, you know what? those small steps, they make a big difference in how people see themselves. So we should acknowledge and applaud that, because you know what? When it starts happening, what happening over country to the next, within 30, 40, 50 years, maybe skin lightener creams will be a thing of the past. That's what,
we may not have enough time, and my issue is we're moving very slowly.
Exactly. So we like
us. That's a symbolic win there. Until I see I think Nigeria got the tallest white Jesus statue in all of Africa, bro. Until I see y'all burn that shit to the ground, bro, we ain't making no progress.
And the crazy part, when you go to Europe, man, when you go to Europe,
that white Jesus must fall. You know, they did Sister John Rose in South Africa, and they brought him down. They said, "Ghost that white Jesus must fall."
Yep. Yo, when you go to Europe, man, that's the funny part. You go to the holiest of holies in these churches, or like even the Vatican. Like you go to the holiest holy room, and you find black, a black Jesus, a black Madonna, etc. They bring these statues out on special holidays, and they parade them, and there's thousands of white people bowing down to this, image of a black Jesus and black Madonna. Those are like the most ancient. Yo, check it out. You could Google it right now, man. You will be amazed, fam, on the propaganda and how the media switched things up. So now when you go to Africa, like Costa is saying, man, it's a white Jesus, bro. And I'm Christian, so it's, to be honest with you, that's one of my battles to this day, man, is when I'm trying to meditate to pray, the image that I see is that same damn ass devil, fam. You know what I'm saying? So
man,
it's crazy, man.
How can you be such a contradiction, man? How can you get down to pray and say the same damn and still do it over and over, brother?
Because that image is ingrained in your mind from when you're a kid, fam. So by the time
are you powerless to just stop it?
All right, let me give you an example, man. Can you really control your thoughts when you close your eyes and stuff? There's sometimes where an image will just come into your mind, like it's just programmed, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm praying right now, and I know the image of Jesus that I'm praying to Jesus, right? Or I'm praying to God or whatever, and just the image that just pops up, fam.
Oh, okay, I get it.
But that's why black people put so heavy emphasis on black Jesus, bro. Because we need to change the way we think, and we understand that. So
my mom told me that. My mom, that white Jesus thing. My mom's been teaching us that since we were kids, man. If I go tell my mom why you praying to white Jesus, it's gonna be hell in that house. You know what I mean? You can't tell that lady nothing.
Hey, well,
she gonna kill you in that, bro. You're the Antichrist if you say that.
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and close out. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, search for Huru. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks, Dana.